first. Okay. All right, everyone, welcome back. This is the second half of our call, our Tuesday team call. My name again is Nicole Connor, and it is my pleasure to be the interviewer of two amazing, incredible business builders, Dana Taylor Bell and Noelle Upchurch. Both of them have joined us for tonight to give us some amazing tips on specific things that they've had an opportunity to partake in and how they are implementing these tips and tools into their business. So I'm going to go ahead and interview Dana first. Dana, are you with me?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Hey girl, thank you so much for that first testimonial call. That was awesome. I love listening to your stories and following you on Facebook. And we've known each other now for about 5 years when I got started in the business. And I am so excited to partner up with you with so many different classes and things that we've gotten to do together, and to see you grow over the last 5 years since I've known you on social media. Let's talk a little bit about PB's class called the Art of Social Media and Art of Social Media Nest. Can you tell me a little bit about what your first impressions were and how you're using that in your daily online presence?
Well, I'll tell you. So I didn't know anything at all about social media other than just going on, posting pictures and sharing other people's pictures.
Uh-huh.
And so when I started taking Kiwi's class, wow, it was a great experience because I learned, what to do, what not to do, the important skills needed to really run a business online. And the same way, so that was in the Art of Social Media. Then I went into the Nest class, which was really, I was looking for the business plan now, the marketing strategy, the business plan, and that's exactly what the Nest does for you. And I really began to understand that I had a business and I need to treat it like a business, and that includes what I post on social media. And yeah, today I use those tips that Kiwi gives us, and sometimes I'll have to go back and say, oops, I probably shouldn't post that, or but the things that we learn, and then the way that Kiwi teaches the class, the group sessions, that keeps me accountable. I'm one of those people, I need to be held accountable. And I know that when I come to group session, I need to be on my A game, and I don't want to come empty handed. So I do my homework and I come to group session. That's the way that I learn. But the other thing that I like about the program are the videos. So not only is Kiwi teaching us what to do, what not to do, how to post, how to set up your settings in the various medias, but the recordings are there that we can go back to later.
Right.
And re-review, because sometimes for me it takes 2 or 3 times for me to listen to something to all right, to really get it.
Well, let me back you up on that one. So you've taken the Nest a couple of times, as have I. And the reason I went back and took it again is because, like you, needing the accountability to be able to continually post online. Now, you've done something special, and you've taken that to the next level, which is something I just love about you, because you're always just next level every time. And that is, not only are you taking the daily activities that are in that 30-day rotation, but you've done a little bit extra with that. Tell us a little bit about your National Day of something and how you're incorporating that into your daily posts online.
Yeah, so I started thinking about, okay, what can I post about? What can I post about? You don't want to be, do the same thing over and over and over again. And right. So at my job, in the unit that I'm in, we're in health and wellness. So we get a health and wellness tip of the month. And so I just went online to look up some further information and found out, wow, there are daily tips. There's a National Heart Month, but who knew that this week was national, anything,
It's crazy. And you
it
come
gives
up
you.
with some amazing posts because of that. And not only are you super creative, but you're getting a lot of follows. So the point of all of this really is, are you getting results and leads and information from all these awesome posts that you're doing? Can you tell us a little bit about how these posts have changed your presence online and how you're getting those leads for your business?
Oh, yes. So in the nest, you learn about tracking and measuring. Okay, and
Right.
every business owner, regardless of what the business is, you need to be able to track and measure, because you need to know where you are in your business. You need to know who your people are. What are you selling? How much are you selling? Do you want to buy that and sell some more of it, or do you not want to buy and sell this anymore?
Yeah.
Same thing
Right.
on social media. And so I started noticing what type of posts are getting traction. As well as who is watching, who is commenting, because those are the people you want to reach out to. They may not reach out to you, but there are different tips that Kiwi gives you to reach out to them. But then you also have those people that will raise their hand and say, wow, that weight loss picture on that gentleman that you posted, can you tell me what he did? And of course, yeah, I'm so glad you asked.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
so,
one of those tips is, of course, not giving away all of the information up front, right? These are some key points here, is that we're not just saying, oh, our product's $99, you can get it, and here's my link. No. You're doing what? What do you call it when you're talking to people offline?
oh yeah, so when you're talking to people offline, that's when you want to give them the information. But there's the system. Don't forget, there's still a system. Even though you're doing it on social media, there's still the pass, the plug, the peak. You've piqued their interest because they've reached out to you about that picture or whatever you've posted, and then you want to pass them some information. You still do it the same. You're still going to do the same thing. Now, through social media, there's different ways you can do that, including the plug. So it's not just a matter of getting on the phone anymore and doing a three-way call. There are all types of tricks and tips that you can use for three-way calling. So if you all don't know about that, you need to take the nest, because you're going to learn about how to do those passes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question that I never ask, and that's a yes or no question. Have you seen growth in your business since you've taken the art of social media and have implemented and consistently been doing what you've learned online in both the nest and art of social media?
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'll tell you, probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, Kiwi, maybe 6 months ago, I told Kiwi, you know what? I'm starting to see a check every Friday. I wasn't at that point, but I started seeing a check every Friday. Small, big, it doesn't matter, but every Friday I get that email that money's been applied to my ProPay card.
Yes. And that's what it's all about, right? Building relationships, helping people along the way, and earning money for your business. Thank you so much, Dana. I just love watching you online, and I will be following you till the end of time, girlfriend.
Thank you so much for the interview, and thank you for having me.
You got it. All right. I am really excited to introduce our next amazing business builder, and that is Noelle Upchurch. Are you with me, girl?
I sure am. Thank you, Nicole.
Oh, you're welcome. Don't you look gorgeous tonight? So let's chat. We've been collaborating on a lot of awesome projects. I've seen your growth. You've seen a lot change in your business, and one in particular class and tools and tips you've taken from the 4 Agreements book and course a couple of times now. You have been able to implement not only the strategies learned in what this book talks about. So if you can give us a little summary in a couple of minutes about what the book's about, what the agreements are, and how you've started to implement 1 or 2 of those in your business.
Yeah, thank you.
Loaded question, sorry.
That's okay. No, I'm ready for it. And I feel so pumped up and just honored to go after hearing all of that from Dana. She is very inspirational, and I consider her a very good friend of mine. And she's from my hometown, Sacramento, California.
Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, the 4 agreements. I'm going to just hold it up so that you guys can know that that's what it's all about. So from the time that we're born, you know, we start to learn, we start to be taught, we start to be trained, if you'll use that for lack of a better word, things that grab our attention, and then people that tell us how to feel about a behavior, right? And so all of this builds on through life and our experiences and our relationships and the people who are important to us. And so at some time in your life, you might be blessed enough to be gifted, or you stumble across this book. So the first chapter is really going to ask us really to look at how we interpret, how we define, how we think about ourselves, about other people, about experiences, how that relates to us, how we've been, you know, just established this picture about ourselves and our life and where we fit into it, right? So it asks us to ask ourselves, you know, are all of these things true? All the things that we've been told throughout our life, are they true? You know, and so that's the initial, like, whoa, wake up, that first kind of chapter or two there. Of course, there's a little bit of backstory as to how this book came about and was published. So after that, you get into what basically the 4 agreements are. And I will go ahead and say what they are so that we can all kind of have
go for it.
Yeah, just kind of have an outline of that. And so the first one is be impeccable with your word. Now, the first time that I learned about this, I really took it from the point of view of just gossip. You know, hold your tongue, our tongue, before we say something, to really consider, is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it true? Because a lot of the times we just say a lot of stuff to just say a lot of stuff, you know?
Yes.
Okay. And then when I was introduced to this book once again, after meeting Kibi and going through training with her and being introduced to Daryl Price and going through the first class with him as our coach. But really, to go back to Kibi, you know, she has integrity, and what she's taught us all is do what you say you are going to do in your life and in your business. You know, whether that's, you know, we've made a promise to somebody to call them at a certain time. We've set up an appointment. Show up. You know, show up in life. And then what does Kibi say? That's 80% right there. Right, showing up. So that's kind of the business side of being impeccable with our word. If we say we're going to do something, do it, because then people will continue to do business with us based on that feeling of trust, that knowing that you are a person of integrity.
Yes, right. Absolutely. So being impeccable with your word. And what's the next one?
Yeah. The next 2 kind of we can tie in with business. Don't take anything personally and don't make assumptions. So the reason why I felt what was that noise I just made? Just like, yeah, Nicole. You know, the reason why is because, especially in the network marketing business that we're in, we really, you know, deal with a lot of different personalities. We're building relationships with people. And so these chapters really teach us that, you know, some of the perceptions that we may have, somebody's behavior, somebody's response to us, they really aren't reflections of us. They're more a reflection of the other person.
Right.
And that doesn't need to stop us. That doesn't need to hold us back, you know? And so, you know, when we make an assumption and we don't ask, sometimes we need to ask a clarifying question, right? Then we can take things wrong. We can take things the wrong way. And now we go back to kind of what that first chapter is talking about. We just, in our mind, we build a story, and the story may not even be true. So if you kind of enter into your daily life with your family, life with your community, life with your business, based on these two, principles of don't take anything personally and don't make assumptions, it's very freeing. It just
For sure.
from a lot of time ruminating over what somebody else may have meant, what they thought, and how that affects our emotions.
It gives you an opportunity to slow down a little bit, right?
I think
it kind of gives you an opportunity to slow down. Yeah, to slow
Yeah,
down.
I heard you, and I think it's step back a little.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you don't enter into the arena. It just means maybe we're not, going back to that first, be impeccable with your word. We're not speaking so quickly. We're waiting a little bit. We're taking some time to step back on something, as well as, with those next two, to not perceive with a lot of filters and, and other ideas. Everybody's going to see a situation. If I hold up a pen and 20 people look at it, they're all seeing it from a different angle. They're all seeing a different idea of what this pen is.
Mm-hmm. And what it means to them.
Yeah, something as simple as that.
Wow.
So imagine the myriad of.
So with those.
Sorry.
So with those two, and I know that you train your teams and you're working your teams to help them be prepared for what comes next. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about those two assumptions and not taking it personally. So I want to revisit that. Why don't you share what the fourth agreement is, and then we'll circle back.
Okay. The fourth agreement is really great too, because it's really simple, and it's malleable. We can change it every day. It's always do your best. And we can't always do our very best. Then we get into the perfectionism part of it. But, at the end of the day, did you do your best? Did you do your best with your family, with those conversations? Did you do your best in all that you wanted to accomplish to grow your business? Did you do your best in your relationship, developing your relationships? And, in this day and age, there's just so much information coming at us. We have calls, we have texts, we have Facebook, we have messages. There's a lot, but did we take the steps to learn and grow and do our best? And really, that's all we can do. And that is also very freeing. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's also not to be like a nihilist or anything and not care. It just means to not be so hard on ourselves. We're awfully hard on ourselves in this society, day and age.
Right. And I appreciate you saying that. It's not a get out of jail free card. Just because we're going through some really great personal development stuff, which this class certainly is, and also to be able to implement it in every area of your life. And, one of the greatest things about network marketing is that when we go through personal development courses, it gives us skills to apply in all areas of our life. And what I love about this particular course with Daryl and Kibi and all of the folks that participated in that course and the group feedback of all of that is how are you personally implementing each of these agreements in your life? Now, for your businesses, and I wanted to circle back a little bit on not making assumptions and not taking things personally. When you're employing those agreements in your life and filtering out your own perceptions over time, how has that helped you to approach potential customers and or business partners using those two agreements when it comes to discussion about the future of their, whatever it is that they're looking for, and to introduce them to new products?
Well, I think the biggest is, we can't control the outcome of the interaction between the person that we would like to introduce the products to. We know that people need to drink Super Mix. Every single person on the planet can conceivably drink and benefit from Super Mix. So
Right.
that gives you a big sense of relief, because we're not trying to invite somebody to something that they really don't need in their life. But again, we can't control the outcome. So when we're having conversations with people, it's really just kind of an exploratory, and especially in the beginning, right? We're trying to find out what their needs are. But, if they leave us hanging, if they if they just aren't ready, that's okay. It's just an opportunity to circle back around. I think being more inquisitive, and giving people some space, but knowing how to ask questions and knowing how to ask for a sale, you know, and judging the right time. And hey, they may ghost you right then and there. That wasn't their time. At the end of the day, you did your best, you asked for it, and you circle back around. 30, right. 60, 90 days, you circle back around.
And you don't have to make any assumptions about why they said no.
No, because I don't really know.
Right.
I can ask even. I can say, was the price point a problem? Was kind of, you know, this health situation, what's going on, you know? Because honestly, you know, in Zija, there are about 4 main excuses, right? Money, time, doctor. I need to talk to my doctor. Or, you know, husband and wife, family, friends, consult with them and stuff like that. So, you know, and you don't know what those conversations are going to be like. So why sweat it?
Well, and because you've read this book, you don't sweat that anymore, right? Because you're employing these tools, you know, especially not taking it personally. This isn't about you. Like, their no is not about you unless you've been inappropriate or something. But let's assume that we're all professionals and that we've done the right things. Right. Their no isn't something for you to take personally, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you. I'm somebody, you know, I want to offer a solution.
Sure.
I have a hard time knowing that somebody's suffering and that I can't go and help them with that immediately, knowing that I have something that can help them. That's really difficult. And I'll tell you, you know, just a little bit of transparent background about myself. You know, I'm sober, and, you know, that's something that we learn. You know, we can't change somebody's behavior in that as much as you'd like to go and be able to help get them out of that. You really just have to pray and work on yourself. So that applies to business too. You know, continue to work on yourself, get better every day. You're going to attract your tribe. Dana's doing a great job of it, I think.
Yeah,
we're going to attract our tribe. They are out there. It's the frustration of, you know, the fight, the struggle that slows us down. So maybe
the struggle of becoming the person you want to be, right?
Yeah, so definitely enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. And then the last piece, which I love that you said, you know, doing your best every day does not give you a get out of jail free card, but rather your best every day is not going to be the same every day. And if I heard you right, you know, doing your best in your family life, your work life, your business life, etc., is that little slice of energy, whatever it is you have for that day, because you may be feeling unwell, you may have had, you know, some stressful situations that come your way. So your best is not going to be the same best every day. That level best is what it is every day, but to always be professional, to never make assumptions, to always be impeccable with your word and not to take anything personally, doing that every day. And I know that others on this call have also either read this book, listened to it on Audible or what have you, and are starting to employ these tips and tools. Is there anything that you could add to the end of that, Noelle, if you were going to be giving, you know, some really great advice to someone and you had a top 3 books that you'd recommend? I'm sure this would be one of them. What other 2 books would you recommend to your business partners to be able to well prepare them for the battlefield of network marketing?
Okay, well, one of my favorites right now is The Go-Giver. I just like the heart and the message of that book. I really enjoy The Prayer of Jabez. That's one that Kibi invites us all to. And because of the idea of expansion, because of the idea of using our talents, using our God-given talents. I mean, my 3 books for life are the 4 Agreements, not in this order, the Bible, and the big book from Alcoholics Anonymous. Again, I mean, I don't mean to, you know, take it down that road. It was written many, many years ago and just still has a lot of principles that can apply. I mean, people can use the 12 steps in their daily life to have a better life. It doesn't have to, have anything to do with addiction. So those are my top 3 for life, but there's a lot of great books out there.
Well, thank you, Noelle. I love your summary of this and how I've seen you change by employing what you've learned in these books, in the 4 Agreements in particular, and how that's really dramatically and drastically changed your perspective, not only of yourself and your self-confidence, but how you're portraying that out there with us as your colleagues, but also in your business. And you've seen tremendous growth, I think, because of that.
Yeah, and I just want to say at the end, look, I'm really glad that I was introduced to this book. I'm glad that I read it on my own several times, but I'm really blessed that Kibi brought this coaching program to fruition, that she has a partnership with Daryl, and that they've both collaborated on this, because talk about really getting in there and learning. Those 2 coaches take you there. So it's been much more expansive experience working with them.
Awesome. I agree. And I concur. Thank you, ladies, so much. Dana and Noelle, is a pleasure to interview all tonight. And I'm going to head and turn the call right over to our another fearless leader, and whom I admire very much. Al Lewis, the call is yours.
Hey, thank you very much, Nicole. I appreciate that. And yes, I admire you too. Wow. Great takeaways from tonight's business tips. And I'll tell you what, Dana Taylor Bell, she nailed it. Talking about the art of social media and the social media nest. Listen, I'm going to tell you, these are just some of the takeaways that I took down, some of the things that resonated with me. There was just so many, I couldn't capture them all. So I'm sure you guys have a bunch of takeaways too. I would love to know some of your takeaways. But here's the first thing, the art of social media. Dana was telling us that she actually learned the skills on how to run a business online through the art of social media. She said that there are rules to doing business online. Who would have thought that you should not put your political views, you should not put things out there that will offend some people, because you are actually building a business, and your thoughts and your views and your personal ideas and everything may very well offend some people. So you're not supposed to do, there's some things that, man, I did not know that I wasn't supposed to bombard folks with my business products and everything. I didn't know that. So wow, you learned some rules, some skills on how to run a business. I know that Kibi, when I was going through the art of social media, she said, hey, go to some of these big businesses, Facebook pages and so forth, and see if they're doing all of these things that offend people. No, they don't. So we need to do the same thing. Don't offend folks. Learn the skills. There are skills. There are a number of things you're supposed to do, so forth. I love that. Also, she was talking about the nest. Hey, there are some things, the daily 5 activities. These activities, actually, Dana said, hey, these activities taught her how to craft or how to run her business day to day, how to operate a business. And that is powerful. And she gave some great tips on what she do to actually focus her daily 5 and what she's posting. She go to a website to give some clues and ideas, and it really refine what she's doing. She said, hey, listen, she loved these 2 classes because they keep her accountable, and she need that accountability. She's not the only one. I'm going to tell you what, we all need to be held accountable. If we're being held accountable for something, we're generally going to stick to it. If you go to the gym by yourself, boy, it's going to be tough to get up in the morning. But if you have a partner waiting for you at the gym, you're going to be there. So that's what this thing do for us, the social media marketing, the social, the nest, following that social media coaching. It basically make us do the things we're supposed to do. That is going to help us get successful in the first place. So she's like, look, I need that accountability. We all do too. One of the great things that she really loved about the classes is that we have videos that we could go back to. We know that repetition is the mother instructor, boy. We learn, hey, if you told me something one time and I don't get it, please don't hold me accountable. I need things 5, 6, 7 times. Some things I'll catch one time. You only need to get burned by fire once. to learn that lesson. Okay, but anyway, we have videos that we could go back to, and they're available 24/7. Wow. Something that social media marketing really helped her with, I believe it was no, it was the Nest. Tracking, learning how to track and measure your activities and your work and what works. This really helped Dana. She was saying this really helped her as far as finding out who's watching, who's committed, who's making comments, and she can really narrow down the people who are really truly engaged with her. And it actually helped her business grow. You know, Nicole asked, hey, look, I wanted to ask you a yes or no question. Did these programs help your business grow? She said, yes, I get a check every week. Man, I love that, boy. When you're doing business, you know, it take a business 5 years before they get profitable. Man, stick with this thing. But if you go through the courses that will teach you how to do the things like tracking, measuring your activities and so forth, and how to communicate with someone, how to take them offline from online and follow a system. She said, hey, you still need to follow the system. When you go through all this stuff, yeah, you could be profitable in a very short period of time. So, hey, those are just a few things that I took away from Dana Taylor Bell. And I'm gonna tell you what, I love that fact. Girl, I'm gonna have to get a loan from her. She getting paid. That girl's getting paid, man. All right. Then we went to the 4 agreements. Wow. Thank you so much, Noelle, for your insight on the 4 agreements. Whew. She said, listen, from the time that we are born, we start learning, and people are putting into us. They're putting into us. And you know what? What we learn is going to be based on who's putting what into us. So we need to, when we get to a point where we can actually make decisions and decide for ourselves, we need to say, hey, wait a minute, is what I learned in the past, is that actually true? The 4 agreements actually help her say, wait a minute, there's some things that I learned in the past that very well may not resonate with me and be true with me today. So I need to be able to break a cycle of something so that I could be in integrity. So she told us what the 4 agreements were. I like this, man. The first one was be impeccable with your word. Oh my goodness. She said, hey, are your words kind? Are they necessary? Are they true? You need to find these things out. Why? Because this actually creates integrity within your audience, within the people that you come into contact with. They see you as a person of integrity. Man, I really like this one because it reminds me, you know, I'm a military guy, Air Force guy, and we have something called some core values. And one of our core values in the Air Force, guess what it is? It is integrity first, baby. That's what this is. Be impeccable with your word. I love it. Hey, the next 2, she said, don't take anything personally and don't make assumptions. She said, look, you take things personally, don't take them personally because that's not a reflection. It's not who you are. It's not about you. It's a reflection of the other person. Man, I like that. So they're reflecting the other person. These people's, the things that you could take personally is reflecting the other person. It's not about you. Here's another one. Don't make assumptions. Hey, it's don't make assumptions. Do you know she took these in a business, man? I'm gonna get this one in a business context. So here we are. I called somebody. They said, "Yep, okay, I want to try that stuff." I gave them the stuff to try. It doesn't matter what the stuff is. They got the stuff, and we know the stuff work all the time. So they haven't called me back. They're not answering my call. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe they're young, so I'm texting them. They're not answering my text. Man, I hadn't heard from them in 3 days. And I'm like, what the world? What did I do? It's not about you. Oh, man, I got to get that. It's not about you. So that's a huge deal. Don't make assumptions. Oh, I'm assuming that they're upset at me. The stuff made them, go to the hospital and on and on and on and on. And then you finally find out, oh, you know what? Hey, I was out of town. Oh, man, why didn't you contact me? It's not about you. So these 2 right here, again, they remind me of the Air Force core values. I'm sorry, they do. Don't make assumptions. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. You know what? We have a core value that actually says service before self. It's not about me. When you are working business, it's not about you, it's about the other person. All right, anyway, here we go. The last thing, always do your best. That was the fourth agreement. And she said, hey, listen, this thing, it changes from day to day. I mean, you could do your best today and you could be on top of the world and you could be killing it. And tomorrow you could do your best and maybe even higher or lower. Don't kill yourself because of that. Just do your best every day. And our best sometimes changes. Okay, so that's huge. Can I throw a core value in there? All right, so Air Force core value. Here's another core value from the Air Force. It says excellence in all we do. Man, I love this. Excellence in all we do. Do your best every day. Okay, hey, this is something. Take here. Here's a PowerPoint that Nicole, that Noelle dropped on us. She said, listen, I'm gonna put it in these words. Well, let me give it to you in her words. She said, you will attract your tribe. You know, the words that I think about is, hey, you are not going to attract high level people. You're going to attract the people that you are. So if you want to attract high level people, you have to do some personal development. You have to do some professional development so that you can become a high level person. How can you do that? Man, it sounds like this 4 agreements class is one way. Man, oh, I loved all this stuff. There's so much. This is the last thing that I'm going to say, and then we're going to turn this thing off. She was asked, hey, look, okay, 4 agreements must be one of your favorite books. What are a couple of others? And she said, oh, The Go-Giver. I haven't even heard of that one, The Go-Giver. What is that book? I need to check that out. Okay. And oh, The Prayer Jabez. Love that one. But then, you know, Noelle, she just couldn't help it. She's like, okay, wait. I'm going to tell you what. Here, not necessarily in this order, but the Bible is my best book. I love the Bible. And oh, by the way, Alcoholics Anonymous got some stuff in there that I'm in love with too. So she gave us 4 books, man. Oh my goodness, that personal development. No wonder everybody was following after her. She has professionally developed herself to a high level performer, and she is attracting high level performers. Hey, thank you guys so much for giving us these business tips. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Noelle, for giving these great tips. Nicole, you do a great job facilitating the calls and asking questions and so forth. Thank you all so much. Hey, y'all have a great night, and I can't wait for next week's call. Take care now. Bye-bye.